Okay. Right. Welcome back to another episode of I Can't Believe They're Still Playing This Game. I'm Horror Game Analysis. This is, unsurprisingly, Pathologic Classic HD. The last thing we did was we came to find out that Asperty had kept something from us, which of course meant that we had to walk around town all over again, but this time we've got the bone horn. And what we're going to do is head back round to see the foreman of the abattoir. We're going to hopefully walk through this infected district without any problems, but of course that never happens, right? And I believe after this day we're going to have some real problems, because I think what I remember to be the very hardest stretch of this game, which is the last sort of 3 days of the Haruspex, begins very shortly, and this is all due to the fact that the foreman is about to put us through rituals that drain our, I believe it's hunger first, and then I can't remember if it's infection, but what is it? Yeah, our hunger, our exhaustion, and possibly our immunity tanks. I do remember just the meters going down, and it's basically you have to juggle that for an entire day. He sort of puts this supernatural burden on top of you, and I'm definitely apprehensive to play that part of the game again, just because it is such a confronting part of the game. I remember it being horribly difficult just when I thought I'd really got used to everything this game had to offer. Then that comes along. So the other thing that I did want to check is that my microphone is working alright, that is audible. I swear every time I use this thing, some setting in the background changes, and I'm no longer audible as it should be. So please do just let me know if, for whatever reason, it's done that again, and the settings have changed, and it's on the wrong microphone or whatnot, and I will fix that as quickly as possible. But for now, we are once again inside the abattoir, and the abattoir is such an interesting building in this game, because it's basically like a microcosm of this game's like spatial design philosophy, in that like how can we force the player to do even more walking and even more thinking, because the only person you really need to see in this entire building is the foreman, who's stuck right up the back, and it takes ages to find him the first time, because you are just following along these corridors wondering where they've put the one character you need to talk to in here. I can't even recall if there's another quest line in here that like puts another character anywhere else. I don't think there is. I think the only stuff that really happens is based around this room, because the rock gets moved, and this room. So yeah, it's really hard to say like whether this is a well-designed space, but I love it anyway.
What?
See the filter that comes up there? Speak. I have accepted my father's inheritance in full. Speak. I see, a worthy deed. I know now that you haven't had the bone before due to ignorance, not cowardice. It is henceforth yours. What do you want to know? Speak. Where did the blood you gave me yesterday come from? It is the blood of a Bos Primigenius, an image of Bos Turok, who goes by the name of an Auroch, an ancient steppe bull whose lines are akin to the lines of the cosmic bull. It was left over from a sacrificial rite. But the rite didn't go the way you wanted it to. You couldn't get living blood from the beast killed the day before yesterday. That is so, but I can draw it from the earth. It is the blood that feeds Suok's body, the blood that flows through her veins underground, the blood that we have been pouring there since time immemorial, feeding Bos Turok's body to be fed by him in return. So, you've taken this blood from below the ground. How old is it? Warmed by Suok's body, brought to life by Suok's breath, the currents of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of bulls cut open lie undergound. Its age should be of no concern to you. It has been the living blood of Suok from the moment it was poured into Bos Turok's veins. Where exactly is the entrance point that the blood gets poured into? I will tell you of this too. Here in the abattoir, at the heart of the House of Suok, lies a well that is connected to the veins feeding the earth. Now, they did a really good job of this in Pathologic too, because they totally transformed the way the abattoir sort of functioned and felt as a space. Became incredibly foreboding and hostile and other, right up until we get the nocturnal ending, where it sort of does feel other still, but in a way that you understand and support if you've chosen that ending. Can blood be extracted from there? Only by an Odong, the foreman of the abattoir, who belongs to a long Tagler and knows the right. The blood rises from down below, heeding his call. But I will not call this blood for you until we are equal. Why not? Because I do not want you to have it. You are unworthy of thinking about it, let alone taking it. It was not you, but Boost Vlad that I gave the blood to before, to help him, and on his orders. So how can I get this blood? By making the sacrifice and fulfilling your father's duty. By passing every trial, completing every task, and proving that you are worthy of making such a sacrifice. Not before that. Come tomorrow, we shall talk about it. I will. And here we start to get this diagram filled out. So the Haruspex's quest, of course, is all about the earth. So we've got the bull's head here, the body of the bull that the town rests on, the abattoir, and then the abattoir essentially feeding the bull blood. So it's an important part of the town's basically bodily function. And I think that's another thing that appeals about Pathologic's setup, is this direct application of this idea that the world is living alive and is wonderful and worth protecting. And I replayed the nocturnal ending again in Pathologic 2 just the other day, and I was really, I was really infatuated by that, I think, because in the time that had passed since I first played through the game, and I thought, the nocturnal ending seems a bit grim. It's the ability to actually let the earth decide that you're relinquishing, your regular human impulses and saying, okay, maybe humanity doesn't know what's best for the world in all cases. Like, what right do we have to kill the earth in this way just to save some people? And it's not that I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think that's a really bold and beautiful thing to have in a video game. As a message, like, that's not something that crops up or occurs very often, right? It's totally infrequent thing. I need to go buy some food. And yeah, like, I always liked it, but this most recent time I was definitely struck by just how beautiful and brave that ending is. Because neither ending, I think, is wholly satisfying, and that's what makes a good video game ending, is if someone else can argue from the opposite side and you can say, okay, like, that actually makes sense to me, like, I can see why you'd pick that as an ending. And it's only when you get endings where it's like, well, only a fool would pick this clearly bad ending, where just like, that's also interesting in itself, I think. I'm trying to think of an argument of an ending off the top of my head. I mean, the one that always comes to my mind is that the first Star Wars, the Force Unleashed game. I guess Star Wars is such a biased example, but you have, like Darth Vader. You either choose to fight Darth Vader or the Emperor, and if you fight Darth Vader, basically everyone you love dies, and you get turned into basically the new Darth Vader. And it's like, who would choose that of their own volition? Like, there's no, other than the, like, this is kind of cool and subversive to the general idea of Star Wars factor. Like, why would we opt to choose that? And that's where we start to run into problems where, of course, in something slightly more sophisticated, like Pathologic, you can make the argument for all sides. I mean, even in this game, each character's main ending, even if I really don't agree with, you know, what the Canes would do to the town, and what's left of it, what they value the most, I still think there's something to be argued there, beyond just that's like a fun, quaint ending that like doesn't really mean anything and no one would really choose. But I feel like the most interesting endings are the ones that people actually do choose because they believe in it. And all of the endings in Pathologic, you know, you can believe in, right? You can actually sort of stand by that because they have ideals behind them. There's like actual ideology written into these games, and yeah, very very strongly considered, right? He's sick. Okay. They performed your task. Right. I did fail the task. Was it on day 6? Was it on day 5 or 6? Yo, Future Cityscape, how's it going? Long time no see, I think, on here. But it's good to see you. Don't worry about being late. No, it's good to have you here. Yeah, they can have the panacea.
Clara is a
3 crowbars. I don't have 3 crowbars. Sadly, I think on a previous stream, which was a few months ago now, I really butchered the quest for the day. But we've just resolved that problem. We'll just give them the panacea. And hopefully we shouldn't fail any more quests from this point on. We want to at least get one ending, right? I think I've been so unlucky as to not find any schmouters either. It's been such a bad run this time. I think the panacea is the only thing I've managed to actually find. I might have found one schmouter, but I might have already used it either on myself or someone else as well. Yeah, it's been a terrible run of bad luck. But I think he should be fine now. Hello. I'll take some vegetables, thank you. Do you have anything? No. Alright, I just... inventory is filled with junk. That's what I was supposed to do at my house, but I forgot to drop stuff off. American Plague Runner's hard mode. No curatives whatsoever. Okay, do I have any bullets? 1 bullet. That's not really good. Okay. I definitely need more food. It would be nice if I could find more. I have that for now. I'll take this person's organs just because they're not using them anymore. I do like just no one is phased by the organ harvesting in this game. It's also totally impersonal. I really like what they did in Pathologic 2 with the actual like tools degrading, rather than this one where you just sort of click on them really fast and all of the guts fly into your pockets. Which is, you know, that's fun in its own way. Okay. Why did I not drop stuff off? I'm not even sure anymore. We'll follow these guys. What's going on over here? Oh, he's gonna throw the knife at the fence post. He stole my kill. They're gonna steal this one too. Oh my... Wait, did I... I think I got it. Despite 4 people attacking him at the same time. I got him. Okay. But this guy didn't get right, yeah. Fortunately, they don't harvest the guts, that's fine. And that's all infected stuff. Oh. Do you have a bandage? Super excited for Pathologic 3. May force you to finish Pathologic 2. Absolutely do. I know it's still a stressful, horrible experience. But maybe now is the time to strike. Bachelor's mechanics just look so interesting to me. Yeah, I love the idea of of temporality really coming into play in such an interesting way. Because I mean it's a big factor in 2, obviously, the temporality of the game. Just gonna put the grass in the bin. In 2, right, because time starts to speed up as things progress and things get harder and harder, and you get less time to actually manage the game's various quests. Things become more stressful as time itself becomes stressful. When the world is stressful and depressing, let us play a stressful and depressing game. That has always been my motto, and even if for whatever reason the world was not stressful and depressing, I would still recommend let us play a stressful and depressing game. But that's just the kind of person I am. Finally forcing your way through the Silent Hill 2 remake, which you're digging. That's great as well. I'd love to... Yeah, where are you up to? Because there was a point in the game on my first playthrough where I was like, this is so long. Goodness me, they've really... The areas sort of start to show a formula at a certain point, and I think that was where the game lost me a little bit, but it did win me back. In the Otherworld Hospital, that's exactly where the game... I was like, oh, this is, yeah, we're still going at this, okay. Because it really did feel like the hospital section felt like the longest bit in the game to me. In unfortunately, yeah, bad way. But it did win me back, especially the stuff in the labyrinth. I think is what I really enjoyed. So yeah, I'd love to hear more thoughts on that when you do get further. What do you think of the game's acting? Are you a fan? That's the other big question I ask. So not looking forward to the underwater jail / labyrinth area. I've heard things that are not exciting to me. You mean you've heard that the game is also very long and drawn out there? Or I'm curious to hear what kind of feedback. Because yeah, the jail, admittedly, the hospital and the jail together, I was just like, oh, this has gone on for too long. But then I love that the combat theme kicks in as the guy dies. Just making sure that there's no one else around. No. The labyrinth section I enjoyed more than the prison section. I think part of I really like the acting. Eddie is genuinely upsetting, which is good. Yes, Eddie was my favourite actor in the remake. I think they did an incredible job with him. Do you have bandages? Yes, you do. But yeah, we sort of started to have problems in the jail and the hospital because it felt so drawn out, and they weren't really doing anything new. And people said, "Oh, the jail, that's the scariest location in any video game ever." And then I realized people who were saying that had only played one horror game, that kind of thing. It's just, to me, it was expectation management, right? I'll take all of that. Heard there are chase sequences or something with Pyramid Head following you. Sections of horror games where people follow you just really upset me. That's absolutely fair. I don't think those sections are that bad. They're not that long, and I can also say that I found Pyramid Head more distressing in the original, because I do feel like in the remake he's certainly more. It's easier to tell when a set piece is coming up, basically. Whereas in the second one, he's just randomly in the water, in one of the water sections. And that's, yeah, like that was really freaky the first time I played Silent Hill 2. Like I vividly remember that, but it's just like, whoa, I did not expect to see Pyramid Head down here. But yeah, I'm replaying it again myself on the light difficulty mode. Don't mind the hospital. Didn't care for the ambush section between the apartments and the bar. Yeah, only section I didn't really like. Yeah, that's fair as well. That one did feel a bit like tacked on, a bit like action set piecey. It is a good game, I think. Like I do like it. It's just, and obviously it helps that I went into it knowing that like this wasn't going to beat the original for me. So I was able to really appreciate the game for what it did. And a lot of the game's emotional moments, they don't have the same resonance as the original does. But at the same time, I also recognize like that was never going to, again, like I have such a close relationship with the original. It's such a personal game to me, like that relationship was never going to change. Damn. How do you just hoover up the guy's stuff? That's what I want to know. I say as I hoover up his organs into my inventory. Maybe what I should do is go out and trade some of these organs for some herbs. That might be what I do with the rest of the time before he gets too exhausted. So I think I've already been to all the butchers. I've only got one bullet, and no one is out to trade with, I don't think. I think everything in the central district has gone to crap, which is where most people are for trading. That's where all the kids spawn anyway. Maybe I'll get a teenager over there, possibly. But yeah, I would love to stream the remake, honestly, later this year as well. I feel like it would be a fun game for people to chat about. The labyrinth was definitely the scariest part for me in the original. I would agree. I loved the labyrinth in the original. Second being the hospital. Oh, yeah, I'd actually probably agree with that. The original hospital was really nasty in this. What I found to be quite a visceral way. They added yeah, I guess they did add chase stuff, but I don't believe it's like that confronting. Like it's not like I've just started playing Clock Tower 3 for the first time. I don't know if you've played that, but I'd love to make a video on that at some point this year as well, because so far it just seems like a lot of fun. But the entire game for the most part, the game is like an enemy spawns. You can't hurt him or take him down permanently in any way, and he just follows you around the entire time. So absolutely nothing like that. It's very clear where Pyramid Head can follow you to, and very clear when he appears, and also not very long. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Tranquilities. It's just it didn't have the same impact. So many bugs. Yes. It definitely had a lot of like visceral, gross moments. They tuned up one of the areas. They made this sort of new labyrinth area, and you're right, Franklin. It is actually thinking on it. Actually, yeah, incredibly foul. Really very disgusting ambient vibes. Same with Haunting Ground. Love Haunting Ground, but playing that game was awful. Yes. Even then there are things like the Abstract Eddy Room, which makes my skin crawl in the original. but didn't have the same impact for me in the remake. I love the way they redid the boss fight. I think the boss fight design is fun, yeah, like it doesn't have the same impact, and that's what I was saying before with the emotional impact. It just doesn't quite land the same. No fault again to the actors and really the whole team, because like they did as good a job as I can imagine, like attempting to make it interesting to people who hadn't played the original, to modern audiences. But in some regards, maybe they didn't have to make some of the changes that they did. The hospital, the mold was just gross. Yeah, very Resident Evil 7 actually. Yeah, not scary, but gross. I do feel they definitely leaned into the grime aspect a lot, which maybe was not the best decision, but I do understand it like that kind of thing affects people differently, so some people probably did find that quite confronting and possibly scary. But yeah, it does, the gross vibe alone doesn't necessarily do it for me either. Okay, I'm just gonna drop some stuff off back at the house this time. I'm actually gonna remember what I'm there for. Otherworld Hospital actually reminds me a lot of the Silent Hill movie. Mining Otherworld vibes, yes. Which you like. It was surprising. They definitely tried to make the Otherworld sync up with the Otherworld, I think, as we see it in the other games, and make the distinction between the Otherworld and the regular world more obvious, because sometimes it's not in the original game. But I do feel like that hurts the game's unique atmosphere. Like, that's part of what I like about Shattered Memories as well, is the fact that the game's motif is ice rather than rust and blood and metal. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, it's still like they made it look really good, but I did kind of just like the depressive Otherworld a bit more. Did like that in the apartments. Never realized the hop across the void was a step into the other world. No, like, I agree. Like, it was cool to make that distinction more obvious, in a way. Like, it does, yeah, like, it does make it seem much more deliberate and much more like, okay, here's the threshold, you're clearly stepping over it. This is a signal that things are going to change from here on. But, like, it's not... I personally don't think it was as cool as the still, like, decrepit, depressive vibe of the original. But like, I can still, that's the thing with the remake, like, I can still respect like why they did these things and why they made those changes, even if I find it personally less interesting. You can have that, buddy. Give me some herbs, worm. That's what I say to everybody who crosses my path. Give me some herbs, worm. Just keep giving. We'll just give all those away. Cool. Take that, and then give away all my kidneys as well. Take all those. Bunch of blood. Eighteen. 10. I think I'm gonna lose. Yeah, I'm gonna lose that anyway. Do you drop the H on herbs? I thought we were... Oh no, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I guess I just drop it for fun. I'm sorry. I guess that was a totally unconscious move. That's just how I imagine Artemis says it, you know. He's an herbs guy. I'm so sorry. I guess you got no choice but to unsubscribe. I'm sorry I did this. I was just trying to get into character. Okay, I'll try and make some tinctures with that, I guess, because I haven't really used that mechanic at all. Top 10 anime betrayals. It could be top 10 pathologic betrayals. There's a lot of betrayals in this game. You can add mage to the list, why not? Herbs or herbs. Didn't realize this was such an issue, I'm sorry. So yeah. You can just like try things. 22, so that's one of each. What about 2 brown? Mix. Cool. So you can see that like some of them are, like super damaging to health. I guess that, yeah, literal children dying of plague. HGA dropping the H. Scales are even. I reckon so. Okay, and that one's totally useless, 8%. But it's kind of fun to play around with that. I like hardly ever use the mechanic, but it is nice that they coded in so many different options. I do wonder if they're all preset or whether they had some formula that they just used. See, we got some of these other things as well that we can use together. We can put our herbs all together in this. A rare herb. What's this one? 12 and 3. Okay, so completely useless. Hang on, if I go back and drop these off. I'm gonna have to say it. Herbs from now on, I think. Even if that was just a slip of the tongue for some reason, I'm afraid that's how it is, I'm really sorry. Now that you actually brought it to my attention, that's just gonna have to be the way I say it from now on. I'm sorry. I mean, it's gonna be an in joke. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Just wondering if there's anything else I pick up. Or... yeah, I guess that's fine. Let's grab this one. And yeah, that one's totally just 6 and 3. I'm afraid, yeah, you've come to the wrong place. Herbs, and more herbs. Will this be the beginning of a long and tiring saga? Okay, I'm gonna boost my immunity, I guess. I'm also gonna unplug this controller because this buzzes every time I injure myself. Bunch of herbs. I really don't know why I said it like that, because I normally say herbs. So I guess I was subconsciously just trying to get into character. I was doing what I thought Artemy would do, but apparently that's a no from Franco Lindsay's. Okay, if on rewatch turns out you never said it at all, I'll have a crisis. I probably did say it. It's totally the thing I would do, is just like unconsciously just lose the H for no reason whatsoever. Oh, Georgie's invited me somewhere. Dear Master Burak, I assume you already know of the fatal transformation that has happened to the family of Vlad Olgimsky. Your father's friend and benefactor, a cunning intrigue, has led the head of the Olgimsky family to be judged by a crowd of bloodthirsty butchers. Before long, every one of them will tremble at the sound of the Boost Vlad's name. Kindly request you find a moment to visit the Crucible, in possession of some crucially important information that may perhaps save the life of the man whose hospitality you've recently enjoyed. And... okay. I wish I had read that earlier. I only just crossed my mind to check the letters just then. Wait, I've got coffee, right? Yeah. The coffee that, you know, is so bad for you. I guess because I'm just eating the raw beans, right? Reaching out to the American audience. Okay, that's a good enough excuse. It's called pantry. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, otherwise I could not explain it because I'm normally a herbs person. Inflation hitting us all. HGA's got to do what they got to do. I mean, one day, yeah, maybe I just got to drop. I hope it doesn't come to this, but if I got to drop the H from my name, you know, like what's going to happen to me? I don't know. Just going to be game analysis. What kind of personality is that? You know, I got nothing if I do that. Let's hope it never comes to that. Inflation, never that bad. Got to sell off the letters on my name as well as Panda. Alright, I don't even know. I don't remember this quest, to be honest. I don't know what Georgie's going to ask us. Business model completely upended. It would be. It would be tragic. Oop. I love that I played this game for so long now that a giant plague cloud in the shape of the Grim Reaper can emerge from thin air and come towards me, and the only reaction I have is just, oh, whoops, sorry, clumsy me, don't mind me. That's what happens when I play almost any horror game for long enough, though, isn't it? It just becomes like trite. Like I know exactly what to expect. There we go. But yeah, like it'll still be really surreal when I finish this game. I don't know if I'll know what to do with myself, to be perfectly honest. Once the original Pathologic, like as a project, once I've just finished it with Dead Space. No hugs, I'm alright, thanks. I love when you reach that level of like comfort and familiarity with a game, that you can just be like, nah, I'm alright. As some horrible demon screams in your face. I just think that's really special, you know. When you're just, you know, you're so comfortable with the game. It's like, no, I'm alright. I don't really want to have my throat ripped out today. It's fine. But yeah, like that's what I guess try and make a video on at some point as well, is that kind of phenomenon of familiarity. Damn it! Jumped over the rat, but I think it still bit me. Okay, this one's like a war zone. A lot of plague clouds everywhere. This better be worth it, Georgie. That's all I'm saying. This better be really good. I don't remember it at all, so either I didn't do it or it wasn't very good. This is fine. This is some like high Clara energy. Just in the middle of a plague, just like, hi Clara. Come on, seriously? I don't enjoy punching rats to death. I mean, just put that out there on record. I'm not a fan. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, I'll always have such an attachment to this, to the Crucible, as a space. I just love the random little drinking fountain. Just, that's the only thing. Another ratty, serious. Another thing that like just sort of weirds me out about the environment design. These are just buildings that like don't make any sense whatsoever. And yeah, like I love it. I love this little tree. Love these 2 coat racks. I love the carpet. I love the ugly fireplace. The fireplace I think is one of the most iconic Pathologic images. You know, you show me this, I'm like, Pathologic. That's so nice. It's cozy, you know. Okay, hello again. Long time no see.
However brilliant an action, it should not be esteemed great unless the result of a great motive.
I love the voice actor for Georgie in Classic HD as well. It's exactly how I imagine him talking. I tried building this house in House Flipper and it was so cramped and ugly. I loved it. That's incredible. I would love to see pictures if you had them. I love that. Yes, you will definitely don your deceased father's garb soon. I felt that familiar power as soon as you stepped into my home. You've almost come into possession of his inheritance, haven't you? Almost. I'm not sure I understand, Judge. We've already been through this today. My Maria is currently in the same state, a bud that is about to blossom out into a stunning flower, a sun that has already shown an edge of its dazzling corona. We are now waiting for the sunrise. You're still missing a little bit. Perhaps it's only a matter of time. Perhaps.
I'm too old. Nothing can harm me anymore.
Right, we haven't talked to Georgie this entire playthrough. It is fortunate that you came to see me, my good Master Barak. It is a matter of great importance for us to discuss. It is something to do with a man who is known to be very involved with you, the man to have spoken in your defense when everyone else had turned their backs on you. I'm speaking of Vlad Olgimsky, or specifically, of the most lamentable fate that awaits him. Don't call me that, I don't like it. What happened to him? The ruthless investigator that she is, Aglaia Lilich, has ordered the opening of the termitary that was previously locked down by the Olgimskys. In doing so, she has uncovered a few pieces of most valuable evidence. Having interrogated Vlad the Heavy, she has received his full and sincere avowal of guilt. And yet, what was he guilty of? Long story short, when he gave, or pretended to give, the order to lock down the termitary, he was already fully aware of the highly contagious disease that the kin had fallen victim to. Apparently, he imagined that some natural traits of the steppe people, and their amazing vitality, would allow them to do away with the plague on their own. Did he now? Well, keeping in mind how volatile these people may be, the Olgimskys were also striving to protect the town from an onset of blood-crazed plague sufferers. In other words, if they didn't try to hide their decision, it may have been understood and supported. But then Simon's death wrought havoc with their plans. So where are you going with this? In truth, the catastrophic act that killed thousands of people was not a product of rational planning, but rather that of hesitancy and reluctance. That's the reason why they were trying to hide the outbreak. Hesitancy and reluctance are quite common in younger people. Younger people? Precisely. It is Vlad the Younger, and not his father, whom we should hold responsible for this terrifying crime. Vlad the Younger gave the order at his own risk, and then kept it a secret from his father. It was already too late when my noble ally and opponent learned of these developments, so he took the blame for his son. So what can I do? Report this to the governor. Look at that facial expression. Look at his nod as well, yes. Yes. Or even his wife, since I heard of some bad blood between you and Alexander. If you won't, I have good reasons to believe the Inquisitor will order Vlad the Heavy's execution. What is with this incredible. Why can't you tell the governor or his wife yourself? Because, to me, you should know this by now, no one that's important leaves their homes. They stand in one spot and they wait for you to come and talk to them. Because they trust the Canes even less than they trust the Baraks. Especially now that Katerina feels what kind of powerful emotions you have stirred in the Steely Inquisitor. You left a strong impression on her yesterday. Maria feels it too. Really? Indeed. So will you help your benefactor? Or shall we say, your partner in misfortune? Yes, I'll deal with it. Who would want to update these beautiful graphics? There's no ugly fireplace in Pathologic 2. That's my real problem. That's where I'm going to make a stand. Where's my ugly fireplace? So, yeah. The real cause of the kin's terrifying demise has been unveiled. Though I'd rather not walk into the wolf's open maw, even if the teeth have been removed. Instead, I will talk to the wolf's wife. 0 out of 10 unplayable. I knew I didn't like Pathologic 2, you know, that's why. That's why, because there's no ugly fireplace. But it is going to be weird going back to Pathologic 2 and doing a playthrough on stream. It's going to be It's going to be so interesting. Finally getting around to it, because I think I've said, oh yeah, I'll stream it eventually. But that time is nearly approaching us. When HGA will unleash their Pathologic playthrough on the world, I guess. And the other thing I wanted to do, I'm not sure whether it would be valuable. Maybe it will be in Pathologic 3, since it's the Bachelor's run. So more Kane action. Yeah, more Ugly Fireplace potential there, that's true. Hopefully we'll get to see more of the Crucible. That's what I'm really hoping for. I just want more old manors that look cool, you know? I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. Oh, you missed. What a shame. Oh, you stabbed me. What a shame. It's my hubris. But whether I... my plan was potentially, basically, to grab all the footage from each character that I'd done and turn it into a video for each character. So instead of like 12 or however many separate videos in a playthrough, I just have the whole thing just in one. I'm not sure whether that would make it more or less watchable, but it would certainly make it, I think, more palatable for the channel in terms of just recommending one big block. And the other cool thing, I think, would be being able to see the progression of my own knowledge and my own streaming skill and ability. Hopefully always go up, but possibly fluctuate as I played. I do think it would be fun to return to those early streams and yeah, like really see what I could do back then with my incredibly limited knowledge, streaming on the seat of my pants basically. But yeah, there's just so many things that like I want to do, creative projects that I want to fulfill, and not enough hours during the day, which, you know, it's a good problem to have. As someone said to me earlier today, we're having a discussion. I was complaining about this very thing actually. All these ideas, just not enough time. But I'm hoping at least, you know, I put out 2 videos already this year, and there's another one that I'm going to finish making tomorrow. So it'll be out very soon, which I'm very excited about. It'll be finally another Pathologic character analysis, which the last one I did was Asperty, and that was at the end of 2023, I think. So we went a whole year without me continuing that project at all. Although I was still streaming, I did still play the entirety of Changeling last year. So at least I got that done. I can't believe... Can't they be helped? Try to think of something. Have that. Again, this better be good, Katerina. I hope Alexander hasn't been making you sleep on the floor.
It only took her a few days to accomplish that, which those two have been trying to do for years.
I can smell it, the damp smell of blood. Georgie asked me to deliver a message to the governor. Olgimsky the senior had nothing to do with the termitory. It was his son's doing. My husband is no longer in charge of anything. It's up to the kin. They'll judge whichever Olgimsky comes. The Mother Superior will just say a teensy tiny word, and there'll be no escape. Whichever comes? What do you mean? Well, they want a person. An expiatory sacrifice. Father or son, they don't care. They couldn't tell anyway. A family is a single body for them. You can cut a thief's right hand off or the left one. It's all the same. Not for Georgie, though. You can't see his scheme. It's political. How is it political? Men come and go. The family stays. What matters is who rules it. Georgie is leaving. So he's setting the table for his heirs, the terrible Maria and Khan. He doesn't need a young, clever, vigorous Olgimsky ruler. Is Big Vlad easier to handle? He is old. He will die soon. And he's compromised by the termitory deal anyway. Oh, it's a fine scheme. A blow that will hit everyone, my husband too. It was him he sent you to. It's him he's planning to hold responsible later. Oh, Georgie, Georgie. It's a scheme that would befit Simon. What should I do? Leave us alone. I've seen through his game straight away. Go to the mother. Let the kin devour whoever they want. It's all over anyway. Over. Let everyone choose how they die at least. Farewell, Katharina. So Vlad the Heavy surrendered himself to Tai-Cheek's daughter. It's clear enough that he isn't the real culprit. I only have to decide if I should tell her the truth. Wonder how that story ends. This plot line definitely felt more pronounced in... because I do remember this quest now that I'm doing it, obviously. But I'd forgotten it started with Georgie for some reason. But it definitely felt more pronounced in Pathologic 2. They did a really superb job with that in the second game, turning it into sort of what feels like a more momentous decision rather than just something that's sort of unfolding on the side, really, which is also cool. But it did sort of feel like a more pressing matter rather than, I don't know, you just get this slightly vague letter from Georgie and you're like, maybe I need to see him, maybe I don't. Whereas I think it might be, is it Clara who approaches you in Pathologic 2 and asks you to do that? Asks you to help decide which Olginsky will sort of meet their fate and take the punishment. As far as I understand, most people do choose Big Vlad to take the punishment. But in Pathologic 2, he's not... There's very little that redeems him, I think. He has a really wonderful moment in one of the shops that his wife used to love, and he wants to keep it preserved. And I feel like that's his one really humanizing moment that I remember, but the rest of the time he's very clearly duplicitous and controlling and very scheming character. Whereas in this one, like, I feel like he genuinely likes Artemy, genuinely wants to protect him. Whereas in the other one, it does feel like he's using Artemy for his own benefit. But again, I've sort of done half playthroughs. Like, I'll pick the game up from like the middle, or play the first few days or whatever if I want a refresher on something. But I haven't even really... I didn't do that for a while too. Oh, good to see you, Future Cityscape. Thank you for dropping by. Hope you have a good rest of your day / night. And catch you again sometime.
Misfortunes never come alone. That's what Daddy used to say.
Is he here? No, not yet.
Feels like I'm deep.
Did you bring to books the person responsible for locking you up here? Yes, you're slick. Mother, what kind of punishment is in store for that person? The terrible kind. I'll let worms and butchers have their way with him. They'll take that person upstairs to a small room on the upper floor. Even I'm not allowed into that room. Then they'll draw straws, deciding on who goes in and who stays out to hold guard. Some of them will join the culprit in the small room, only to emerge after a while and go to sleep for 3 days. Neither the prisoner nor his remains will be found inside. Will they devour him or something? I'm telling you, I'm not allowed into that room. Do you know for sure who the culprit is? I don't. Not for sure anyway, but I think it's Fat Vlad. Do you want to know for sure? Of course I do. Well, I'm not telling you. You're right. It's Big Vlad. Right. Doesn't matter who did what. He's the head of the family, so it's him who is to bear responsibility. Dad did that for me too. That's so. No. Let Big Vlad die. I should inform Georgie of my decision. I feel like now Georgie's just gonna yell at us, to be honest. If we can even get there in time. It's gonna be cutting it really close. Really close indeed. Because all the quests reset at midnight. I've got an hour to make it across the entire town again. So, yeah. I'm not liking my chances, but we can give it a go. We can give it an earnest try. I was also trying to think, like, what games people would want to see me play this year if I'm going to be streaming more regularly again. And yeah, would people be more interested in either starting Pathologic 2 immediately, because I'm going to be streaming Pathologic 3 as well, or should I sort of segue into some like other, so either some classic or some indie, you know, survival horror stuff, like classic stuff, because I'm really not sure whether I just, you know, let's just crank out the Pathologic, or whether we throw some variety in there, or whether, you know, 2025 is let's just get all of Pathologic just done, let's just knock it out, get some live analysis going, which might also give me the fuel and the energy and the resources to make a lot more character analysis videos. I'm hoping to make at least 3 of them this year, possibly 4, depending on how much I'm writing, and how much other creative pursuits go. Do you intend to play Pathologic 3 on stream first, or save the stream for second playthrough? I've really been wondering that. I wondered that about Silent Hill 2 Remake for a long time. Obviously I decided not to, but I'm honestly, like, I'm really tempted to, I'm just going to go this way, this is going to be faster, it's more dangerous. I'm really tempted to just play Pathologic 3 completely blind on stream, but I also know that I won't be able to, I'll be like hypothesizing live, but I might not necessarily be like analyzing live. But I do feel like it would be a really cool experience to document as well, just my honest first-hand reaction. What do you think? What would you prefer to see? I could even play it through twice, right? But if you had to pick one, would you prefer to see a playthrough like this, where like I already know the game inside and out, or would it be more interesting to see my first reaction? Because that's the kind of thing I wonder about on stream, and like I wondered about that for a good long while with a bunch of other games as well. Like, is it more valuable? Only worry is that worrying about streaming at the same time would impact. Yes, I think that's another thing I'm worried about as well. But like, I am open to the possibility of streaming it on the first playthrough, or at least, I guess maybe what would probably end up happening, to be honest, is I would the first time I ever play or boot up the game, that would be live, and then I would probably go home and play it for like 20 hours, and then I would be done. But maybe that's probably what I'll do actually. Is I'll, the first time I play it, I'll play it live, and then I will go home, I will finish it, and I'll come back and be like, okay, now that I know what I'm doing, let's have a chat about it as well. So you see my very first honest open reaction, and then you see me knuckle down and like get into, you know, what I'm known for. So yeah, we'll do that. I'm glad I sorted that out. Alright, we sorted that out. Which I think is also what I should have done with the Silent Hill 2 remake, but you know, that's alright. Yeah, I'm planning, I would like to do the same kind of thing with a Fatal Frame game, because there are a couple of those remasters that have come out, and I think it was Future Cityscape that recommended them to me, and I would like to buy one and start streaming one, but you know, like, it is hard for me to stream regularly and for many hours at a time just because of my schedule. So I'm aware that like any game that I start, I feel like I really have to sort of piecemeal hand out to myself, which does make me a little impatient. So often I will just... The same thing happened with Yakuza, I think. I started playing that for the first time on stream, and I was like, oh, this is, you know, I can't stream it, but I really want to move on to 2. So like I went and beat that one behind the scenes and then came back and streamed the rest of it anyway, which I think was fun. I think that worked well, even if I probably wouldn't stream another Yakuza game again, just because it's not really my kind of game to stream. Are you serious?
Pressing endeavors of the day were fulfilled at the expense of several lives of your bound.
Hang
The
on.
performance at the theatre will feature...
Hang on. What did I do wrong? Did I forget to do something? I thought the quest was done. Did I not see the Inquisitor? Did I have to go back and see the Inquisitor? Is that my problem? Oh, shit. It's going terribly now. I think I forgot to see the Inquisitor. Okay, well, we'll go back and do this. We're gonna sprint. This is gonna be hectic. I always forget something like this. Just typical. Okay, come on. Make it quick. We're going on a jog. Let's go. Let's move. Because, yeah, if I look at the quests... Yeah, talk to a guy about it. I just assumed that was the end of the quest. That's so clumsy of me. It's so unlike me. Normally double check that every time. I'm too arrogant now. My pathologic hubris has caught up to me. Went too close to the polyhedron. Okay. Run. I love the just chain of guards that sprinting away from a robber creates. Don't get stuck now. I don't actually know whether it's possible to make it there in just half an hour. What would I have to... Yeah, I'd have to go back a little way. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Or I could just turn on the fly. I can fly. Okay. We're getting into speedrunner territory now. What's the most efficient route? I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Yeah, you can do everything, but forget to talk to the last person you need to, and fail. Yeah, 10 minutes. 9 minutes. We're gonna like sprint in the door, and she's gonna be like, "No, you failed." Come on. It's more important to talk to her than Georgie. Come on. I'm like frantically checking my watch. Okay, we made it.
The dream party has failed its task.
I'm happy to see you here. Still, it would be better for you not to come here too often. That was stressful. Yeah, it was. You're telling me. Okay, we made it. I've been to the abattoir. The things that I found there are hard to explain to an unprepared person. I say like covered in sweat, like just completely stressed out. I totally forgot about this meeting. I'm so sorry. I'm well prepared though. I know your people's mythology. I know the legends of these lands. She's so composed for someone. It's 6 minutes to midnight. Tell me what you've learned there. Tell me where the blood came from. I will believe the most mind-boggling report, especially if it's consistent with my own data and calculations. There's a whole system of underground tunnels beneath the town, up to the Gorkon River. Sacrificial blood has been poured down there for hundreds of years. She's really looking down her nose at me here. No surprise there. I've read about it when I was preparing for the trip. Furthermore, I know for sure that other peoples have similar cults. They all belong to different ethnic groups. Some of them are northerners. The blood there is alive. That means the town nourishes it and probably nourishes the town. Are you? Oh dear. I think it's so late. She's so tired that she couldn't even hold her interested face. She's beyond caring. She just could not be interested anymore. I'm sorry to bore you, like genuinely, Aglaya. I'm so sorry. That's inexplicable, but it's a fact. Well, is it consistent with your data and calculations? There we go. Okay, look, now that I've asked her a question, she's back into it. Well, I'll be. It is consistent with the calculations. As for the data, well, it also is. This is why digging wells is prohibited around here. That's why the rivers are so shallow and the Gorkon is so clean. Yes, I'm impressed but not shocked. I was prepared to encounter something unique, even though I expected the mundane. How do you explain this? Wait a moment. This may be a rather fascinating natural phenomenon, but you should look at it from a different angle. If there is blood circulating in the town, feeding it, then it's alive. This is your sought one. It all clicks, doesn't it? At least the size is fitting. What does Udurg mean? A body that contains the world. And simply interpreting Isildur's words, here, I've written it down, he knew that said Udurg was in danger, and he knew that only a miracle could save its life. He knew that in order to cure it, one would require rivers of panacea, and so he decided to replace the foreman and regain legitimate control over the kin to get closer to the Udurg's bowels. You are correct. Yes, it's true. Well, I have a different point of view, but I think I'm reconstructing Isildur's thought process more or less correctly. The sign refers to some unnamed entity. It was silly of him to include this super being in his list among ordinary patients. Must have been boggling his mind too. Yes, that's my father, all right. If I try to put myself in his shoes and look at all this through his eyes, that's exactly what must have happened. Yay, got the asterisks. My search has come to an end. The answer is an Udurg, the body that contains the world. A living creature that my father vowed to protect. The settlement, nurtured by animal husbandry. One thing seems dubious, though. What kind of sacrifice could possibly be proportionate to such a sort one? So that was a really important conversation to have, because you do learn most of what you need to learn about the remaining sort of quest lines. I'm not going to be able to... I'm going to miss them again by 1 minute. Come on. Come on. Yes. Does that count?
Efforts allowing supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theatre.
Okay, Georgie, I know that's your voice. I know it's you. You don't have to ventriloquist me. Okay. I gave the senior on Gimp to the kin. Did I hear you right, Master Burak? You bet. You're a clever man, there's that smile we love, Artemi Burak, but regrettably short-sighted. Although, there's not many people who may boast percipience these days. I have no doubt that you did what honour commanded you to, and this is always worthy of sympathy. Sympathy? I thought it was worthy of respect. And you're correct. Good luck concluding your work, Master Burak. Thank you. Cool. I don't actually know if that... yeah. I wonder if you keep Big Vlad alive, whether he gives you a reward for that. So we didn't even really need to talk to him, but it was incredible that we somehow managed it. Literally on day 9. That was incredible. Okay. So we got a new mission here, right? Or do we already have this one? Regardless. Who will the Sort One be? Whom are we going to cure? Ever since I was a child, I knew that sacrifice is the only way to proceed. This has nothing to do with superstition or with the prophecies of the mistresses. This is just a fact. A sacrifice will have to be made. This sacrifice is what enables the Udurg to live. This has nothing to do with the ritual, but is rather suggested by the law of a higher justice. There is a sacrifice I should make, and I know what the offering is. This will be my only destination, regardless of the path I take. The offering dies, the Sort One lives. There is no other way. Having said that, I remember that a warden might appoint the offering himself, as long as the conditions are met. The offering, the rules dictate, should be appropriate. It should be proportionate. It should be linked closely to the one performing the sacrifice. Otherwise, what sacred power will the sacrifice bring forth? None whatsoever. So be it. That's a really good, setting us up to make this great sacrifice. And now the army has arrived, I believe. Day 9. Really went through a lot there in the last half an hour of in-game time. Cool, so this is how we know that we're really in the final moments of the game. We're really coming towards the end here. Day 9. Just a few proper days left to go. which again is very weird to recognize. So now we're getting letters from Aglaya now. On the beings of a higher kind, the foreman claims that the earth is nourished by blood. Could it be that this is the Udurg your father wrote of? There are miraculous creatures all around us, I think, some of them so great that we cannot even feel their presence. How can we possibly recognize them? A man would only accept something that he is prepared to acknowledge as a fact. Nevertheless, the town is alive. It has a head, a heart, and a belly. There are veins running through its massive body. The town has its own memory. It breathes, it thinks, and it feels fear. Who knows, perhaps the town can even feel love. A world in which towns have a heartbeat is the world I want to live in. I want to feel the earth tossing and turning beneath my feet. I love the... I love the reframing of the town being, this alive being, something that has its own thoughts and feelings, and part of that, I think, as Pathologic makes obvious, is the fact that all the people sort of act as like its living cells and like give the place life. But the argument is that perhaps Pathologic's town is different and has the potential to be more, and perhaps all places have the potential to be more as well. It's really the question that Pathologic raises is, what do you think is most important about a town, about a space? Is it the people, or is it the place itself? Is it the architecture, or is it the ideas? And really that's why you get such vivid, interesting responses to this game, I think, because it sets up these kind of timeless questions that do challenge your moral thinking as a human being. I remain always interested to hear what people have to say about the buildings and the game's ideological arguments. I'll continue talking about that in a minute.
See now how many mysteries the earth holds. The more terrifying the mystery, the deeper it lies, and the fewer wells can reach them.
The bowels of the abattoir were turned inside out. There are beasts there.
It's filled with roots and dirt. The underground doors opens easily, but you can only go through if there's a grave behind it. Hopefully you catch my drift.
There's nothing to lose anyway. The soldiers will be here tomorrow. Let's risk it.
You're free to go anywhere. To the right, to the left, upwards, and even downwards a bit. You're welcome to make sure there are no tricks.
Who cares? It's all the same in the end.
Another incredible play. Does Mark have anything to say?
The Commander and the Inquisitor haven't had a meeting? A bad sign.
He literally just got here, Mark. Like, seriously. I need to rush these things. Okay. Right. Let's see what Notkin wants for a map today. Because a map actually would be helpful now that the trials are starting. I do wish this version of Artemi actually knew how to do a map. Because at least in Pathologic 2, when you entered a district, he would mark the map for you. But in this one, he doesn't. So you can see, yeah, I'm wandering through an infected district, and he's just not marking that at all. Nor is he marking this one as an abandoned district either. Which would be helpful. but that's alright. So yeah, the other thing I was considering streaming this year, possibly if I have enough time, is, you know, I think something either finally clicked or snapped in me the other day, and I was thinking, you know what, I just gotta make a video on the Void, or stream the Void, or something, or do both. So I would love to play some of the Void live. I won't be very good at it still. I'll make a lot of mistakes, but I think I've finally, glad to see the excitement there. I've finally decided, you know, like, this game is really daunting and intimidating, but I finally have even the beginnings of the experience and the academic intellectual framework to actually begin writing about this game. The Pathologic, obviously very complicated, and lots of really heady ideas to grab there, but the Void is something else, and I feel like maybe I am finally ready to tackle that in a big way. So, you know, there are three or four games I want to make big videos on, like sort of the 2-hour long epics, like the Silent Hill 2 and 4 video, and the Void is one of them. I want to make a huge long video on the Void. I want to write about everything I can think of. Yeah, I want to gather up lots of interesting sources and just have this be a way for me to finally process the game.
In trouble to be...
Make a map yesterday, willing to share. What do you want? 4 crowbars and you have it free of charge. 4 crowbars mean 4 dead marauders. Why are you so bloodthirsty? Shouldn't have killed Button. Told them we'd take out 4 of them for any one of ours. That doesn't sit well with me. Yeah, so I can't even offer him money. I'll see if Bad Grief is selling any bullets, because if I had 4 bullets at least, I'd be able to do it. Provided I can also find a bed to stand on. Although I think Bad Grief's bullets are extremely expensive. But we'll see. So yeah, there are 4 games that I do want to do big sort of analyses on, and it's really just a question of which. Well, actually, no, I know which one I'm going to make first, because that script I finished last year and I just didn't make it. So I know which one's going to be first, but out of the other 3, it's really a question of, yeah, just which one inspires me the most, and maybe, I'm hoping, by the end of 2025, nice Christmas present would be somehow having a huge big video on the Void for people to digest. But you know, keep reminding me of that, because I really do want to make something like that. I feel ready, as terrifying as it is. Part of me really feels ready to do it. My compliments to you, big man. We'll open the stash if you dish out some cash. Come to see your wares. 900. I'll buy your bullets, because I already have 20,000. Okay. We might not even need them. It really depends what kind of house I wander into. But we'll go get 4 crowbars. We're just going to set ourselves up for the day, I think, with a map. Because I'm kind of... It would be nice just to have one for a change, rather than having to memorize. The memorization is fun too, because I do like exploring the town without any extra like aids or anything like that. No sort of visual or navigational help, but I would like to at least get one map during this playthrough. Okay. Alright, we're on the table and we're freaking them out as usual. Okay, they can't hit me here. I can hit them. Sort of, sometimes. I just don't know how you're meant to fight these guys normally, like, without losing a ton of health. This just never looks good at all. This is how I've done like 50% of the combat in this playthrough though. Just stand on a bed or a table and just hope that a punch connects. There you go. Okay. One down. Take all your guts, thank you very much. Cool. Scour the rest of the house. Might be something good otherwise. Nope. Pills, that's fine. Save it again just because I'm exceedingly paranoid. I know how fast you can die up here. Is anyone up here? Yes. Oh dear, I went to the wrong... Oh, okay, cool. We can still make it onto the bed. The beds are supposed to have an invisible wall. Disappointed there was no table combat in the new trailer. I know, right? Do they even know what Pathologic is about? Oh, I hate it when this happens. They got stuck on some bit of level geometry, but when I get close to them... Yeah, would you look at that? Hello. Hi. Love the abrupt, like there's not even an animation as well when I switch to the gun. Just like, hello, just a gun appears in my hand. So the bullet did come in handy at least. The knife also probably will come in handy. I don't think I've had a knife since I was knocked out, right? And put in prison. That's what got me infected in the first place. Okay, we got 2 crowbars, we just need 2 more. It's still only 2 AM, so we're doing pretty good. Do I have any food left? Just that. We still haven't slept in ages. We just scoffed down coffee. Okay. Go on this side as well. I know I save a lot when I go into these houses, but they really are, like, they're just so dangerous. Like, if the robber does happen to catch you off guard, which, you know, they probably will. Look, just like that. I didn't think my health was that low, was it? It certainly wasn't warning me, but yeah, 2 punches like that and you're dead. So yeah, if you haven't saved in a while, you just sort of pointlessly have to replay a large amount of the game, which, like, I get, like, it does make these environments feel authentically dangerous, but there's no reliable strategy other than table combat to deal with these bandits, which, yeah, is a problem. Where does this one come from? Behind me. Can I fight? No. Yeah, they still clip me. It's really, you're relying on a lot of space, so it's very hard in these really cramped little houses. I think you really need them to keep, like, doing that, like, dodge backwards move, which doesn't always work out for me, obviously. But we got through that one surprisingly well, and it was worth it because there was some meat there which we can have, but we definitely need healing. That's, you know, more substantial than that. Okay, let's try upstairs. We'll get this last crowbar, right? Theoretically, from up here. Goodness, big staircase. It's one of these houses with the long, narrow corridor. Ow. Just kind of hoping I could bait that one out. Don't tell me you got stuck. Oh! That was a trap. bloody difficult. Yeah, see? It's just so hard to bait them out. Okay. Okay, maybe I'll just take the gun up this time. That'll save me some grief, to be honest. Thanks, bad grief, you'll save me some grief. Okay, anyone else? 'Cause that's all we needed, technically. Why is it just like one? Damn, I missed. There's just one coin. 3 coins in the drawers. Do you guys just like not like spare change? Because you know, like that all adds up, right? You guys could be even, you know, filthy rich if you're picking up every single one coin you found. It's just no, they're just not very thorough, you know. Scalpel. It's a pretty good find. I might swap out the wire for the hooks. Yes, alright, we're back into lemon collecting just like Clara was. Where did I see those other in here? Cool. Alright, so let's go back and get the map, which will show me what we're dealing with a bit more. That already looks like, yeah, the middle of town and the left side of town. The stone yard are exceedingly dangerous. And yeah, I'll go for another. Unfortunately, yeah, I'll only be able to go for another 10 minutes or so today, but it's because I do have other places to run to. But I hope you've been enjoying regardless, and then I'll be back in a couple of days' time, I think, to play some more. Because it really is in the home stretch. I think we could finish it within the next 2 weeks. Could put a stamp or seal up the HGA Pathologic Classic HD playthrough. My favorite game will be completely done and dusted on stream. We'll have archived a full playthrough of every character, which will be really cool. I'm really excited to be able to say that. Cool. Okay, I'm back. I suddenly agreed with your bloodthirstiness. Willing to share? What do you want? Deal. Yeah, was as I thought. Just a terrible map today, which is going to encourage us to hang around the districts down here, I think. In the steppe, we're just going to wander through there a bit. Well, yeah, there's the potential to do some trading over in the eastern district, so we might go do that. There's the gun that's arrived. Yeah, there's just, I love the cannon. Yeah, the cannon is just really cool. We can go over and have a look at it. I don't think there's any other pressing concerns that I have at the moment. I also love the railway station of this one. It's just totally otherworldly. Like the railway station in Pathologic 2 feels like a railway station, and this just feels like this is some bizarre, you know, really bizarre creation. I struggle to think what it reminds me of, but it definitely reminds me of some sci-fi thing that I've seen, some sort of utopia gone wrong, which does make sense. Yeah, I love just the scale of the gun, the look of the gun, and just how imposing it is. As designed by Geiger, that makes a lot of sense actually. Maybe it's Alien. Maybe it does remind me a bit of Alien. Which I watched. I did finally watch the new Alien. Alien Romulus, which I enjoyed. Surprisingly, I wasn't really expecting to enjoy it. You know, sort of sat down and I was like, prepared to sort of roll my eyes, but you know, I thought it was a cool little movie. You know, as a franchise film, I thought it did a good job. Okay, what should I do for the next 10 minutes? I'm glad you agree. It's it was very well made. I liked the characters, and a number of the set pieces were extraordinarily cool. I still felt like, was it a story that like needed to be told? No, not necessarily. Was it a fun time? Yes. Like I enjoyed the horror, the body horror and stuff on display, and what they did with the alien and that kind of thing. There's some really cool stuff in there. It didn't necessarily do anything really interesting narratively, but it was a fun time, which was all I was looking for at the time. So yeah, I did enjoy it. Is it worth? Yeah, maybe I'll just stop at the house and. Because I don't know whether it's worth going to trade with anybody or talk to anybody else. I'll just stop in and get some sleep, and then I'll wander back through the steppe to see Aglaya, probably. I think that's what the game will ask me to do, right? Because I haven't got a letter from anyone else yet. No. So yeah, if we sleep for, say, well, if I give myself the weakest kind of painkiller, which I think is this one. Yeah. If I do that, sleep for 3 hours, let's say. Get me a bit of health back, reduce my exhaustion a bit. And then... yeah. I can't remember whether Aglaya wants to see us first, or whether the foreman does. Because I would hate to wander in the wrong direction. I guess what I'll do to start next time, we'll just start at the cathedral. I think we'll get to the cathedral and then I'll wrap up for the day. But I'm hoping to do one sort of longer one this Wednesday, and then a couple next week, which may indeed conclusively wrap up the saga of the Haruspex in Classic HD, and wrap up HGA in Classic HD. And yeah, like I don't know when I'd stream them again is really the big thing. Like, would I return to them? Probably, but when would that be? I have no idea. I do still love these games, or this game in particular. Yeah, it's really really strong comfort game. Who on earth? I know that was a waste of a bullet, but I just don't really have the time. Get the knife out for now, though. I think the more I think about it, the more I like the idea of actually making one big long sort of compilation video for each character, which I guess will be probably absurdly long each time. Because I feel like my bachelor playthrough was about 20 hours, so I'd be making 20-hour videos. Morning of the 9th day has come. Total death toll 3,789. Currently infected 581. Town is dying. Day 9, which becomes apparent that the Haruspex will have to fight for the kin and the land of his ancestors. Okay, we're gonna go see the Inquisitor. This is the decision we've committed to. Ooh. I love that. Yeah, they just no one's wearing any All the regular soldiers just they came with no protective gear, and then there's just that guy, completely covered, safe and sound. This is so bad. I've got such bad luck. Knife wielding guy here. Okay, straight up the hill. You guys gonna help me or? Holy, don't shoot me, please. No. Stop. Holy sh... Okay. Alright. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Who sent me a letter? Bachelor's letter. The army and the Inquisition. It is not simply the future of the town that we are to decide on. It's not merely the fate of a random settlement that hangs in the balance, but the fate of one of the last places where this rapidly disappearing culture has survived. Societies that are able to direct their efforts to creating impossible things are obliterated within the merciless passage of history. The rulers lack even the nominal kind of authority. Aglaya's hands are tied. While she is still alive, she won't let the commander raise and demolish at will. However, keeping the military in check is a task that will claim the entirety of her attention. There are not that many people left here who are able to make meaningful decisions. This puts great responsibility on us both. I suppose, unless one of the chess queens is removed from the board, their conflict will end in a stalemate. This will give us the opportunity to influence the ultimate decision. This may also lead to our demise. Be very careful. Okay, thanks for the warning, Bachelor. Maybe we go see the Bachelor. Maybe he's got something to say. I was fully prepared for them to accidentally shoot me. It has happened before. They have died by a stray gunshot wound. Oh no, it's going to be the commander who wants to see us. Artemi Burak, the surgeon, is hereby requested to report for service. Present yourself immediately at the headquarters of the 4th Army Commander, located at the Town Hall. Signed, Major General Alexander Block. Let's go see the Bachelor. Is Ava still here? Ava's still here. And the Bachelor's not here. I guess he's at the Town Hall. Let's see if let's make it to the cathedral. The Inquisitor might still have something to say, right? Which we won't know until next time, because I do actually need to finish soon. I do have places to run to. But I am exceedingly excited for Wednesday. We will make a lot of progress, and not to mention next week when we'll probably finish the whole darn thing. Okay, so we'll save here. Thanks everyone for tuning in, for watching. Good to see you, Frank Galensis. Really appreciate it. It was good to see Future Cityscape as well. Glad I could actually give people a heads up today about the stream, and I hope that can be the case further and further as we get into March, that I'll just get into a nice routine and people can tune in. I hope you got something out of it, whether humour or something interesting you didn't know about the game or hadn't considered before. As always, really, really grateful for people tuning in and watching. It does mean a lot to me as a small creator, but even if I was somehow a huge one, it would mean a lot to me as well. Eternally grateful. So thank you, and I'll see you all next time.